Okay, so we're going to do a live. I'm going to go and share it with my followers, my handful of beautiful followers of high priestesses, mostly high priestesses, to be honest. And I don't feel bad about it. And I'm going to wait for people to come on. I want to welcome you. I want to just thank you all who have supported me through this long year from October 7th, since that seems to be the key word to use, date actually in history, October 7th. I want to thank you all for supporting me during October 7th, supporting people like me all over the world and the movement growing. And here's a shift. We're taking a turn on the road. Many of us who've been watching and getting educated or catching up on our education, because to be honest with you, many of you are very educated and you've been aware of human rights violations for decades. This is not your first rodeo in human rights violations, women's rights violations, children's violations. Definitely with the sound of freedom, I think people were shook, especially in this country, shook on things that many of us had known for decades. But there's a turn in the road. I was told in my meditation, I woke up, couldn't sleep actually, really. But at 4 o'clock in the morning, I did a meditation. And I asked the powers, the light beings, why this? And they said, do you really think this is, it wasn't that they were laughing, but they were like incredulous and said, do you really think this is the first time such horrors have befallen the human race? And of course, I knew that wasn't the first time. Of course not. It is the first time it's ever been actually documented in real time. And they said this was important for the whole human race to see what had been going on for thousands of years. Humans against humans. Civil rights infringements. Human rights infringements. Abuses of all kinds, abuses that you can't wrap your head around because you are a light being. You, meaning you. Whoever's listening. You, me. And your job is not to try to figure out why. Your job is to realize it's happened. It's been happening. It's happening now. And so the crossroad moment now is because we are so hell-bent on the new earth that it is now time to turn our attention away from the horrors. Why? Because it's not going to fix itself with us, our despair, our tears, and I'm not saying ignore it to the full extent. I'm saying be aware of it and know that as you turn away from it, the reason why you're turning it away is because now you're going to literally put your entire focus on the new earth. Every bit of every cell, every breath, every heartbeat is going to be to bring the new earth. We clearly can't do it through our tears. We clearly can't do it fighting and protesting and sending letters and all the things that many of you have done. So now what we have to do is create an egregore of such love and such power that it is irrefutable in the way it pushes aside and transmute all of that incredibly evil energy out of the way to catapult us, all of us, into the new earth. And that's going to be the only answer. And that's going to give you a sense of, it's going to take you out of despair and worthlessness and helplessness. Most importantly, helplessness and despair has been the emotion that many of us individually and collectively have been feeling since October. And since actually July, was it June and July of 2022 when Roe versus Wade was overturned? And when we saw the sound of freedom? And when we saw how the lockdown was used against us, not for us? All of these realities, all of these truths that we have been so aware, this has been the most intense 4 years of our recollection. And the atonements to be paid isn't ours. It's theirs. And so as spirituals, high priests and high priestesses, as druid and druidesses, as shamans, Our most important power now is to take, literally, there's a crossroad moment. We're all on it. And we're going to have to just cross the bridge towards 5D, literally veering away from this debacle. This horror, this is worse than any horror film any of you have ever seen. And the absolute cruelty and the abject narcissistic traits of these supposed quote-unquote leaders is shockingly abhorrent. It is Baal and Baphomet on steroids. It is everything that you feared as a little child in your nightmares and beyond that. And clearly our tears will not change this diabolical agenda. From Bill Gates using all kinds of powers to harm the collective 99%. With his various little plans. This evil, evil little man who could steal technology but not invent it. And others like him. And others whose names we'll never know. And so, yes, it's time to step into your bliss bubble. It's time for you to now walk away. And that's not because I'm asking you to ignore it. I'm asking you that when somebody foolishly says, but what about October 7th? Or what about, abortions that go to the 9th month? You can say there are women who really want babies. Really, really want babies. Except, you see, the 8th or 9th month, suddenly something bad happens to the baby. Not because they want it to happen, but because it just happens. And now doctors are terrified of doing any procedures that could save a woman's life. And so she most likely will die. Because of the Roe versus Wade overturning. Let's first give women the right to save their own lives so they can raise their babies. So many of them have 1 or 2 children. And these kids will be orphans because of this system. Let's first carve out the rights back to women's, to my body, my right. And as for the sickos, because there are sickos, I'm going to be straight up. I'm sorry if I offend you, but I'm not here to sugarcoat shit. There are bimbos out there that will use abortion again and 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 again as a form of contraception. And they're out there. I met them. In fact, I knew one in Switzerland. Okay? I don't know what's wrong with those women, but there's something wrong with those women because we have so much technology. And not to mention there's so many men who are doing all kinds of things, snip, snip, not to get a woman pregnant. Lots of men. And the sad part is that many people actually don't want fucking children anyway. But as I said to you before, just on the side note, the reason why that was overturned was fucking children anyway. But as I said to you before, just on the side note, the reason why that was overturned wasn't because of the right to life movement, that they're just so in awe of life. Because if they were in awe of life, none of these genos would be happening at all. So the hypocrisy is a bitter pill that we've had to taste for too long. And so the beautiful moment has come upon us to now go into our bliss bubble. And that bliss bubble, thank you, Jennifer, for saying that word. That was a perfect word. That bliss bubble is where you co-create the new earth. And I had a wonderful hypnotherapy session with a client. Very advanced client. An advanced soul. Who's definitely a volunteer. There's no doubt. Who works with children with autism and different specialty learning differences. I don't like to call them, there's no disabilities in learning. There's learning differences. And it's not because I'm being politically correct. Don't mistake me because I'm the last person who will ever be politically correct. Because I'm sick of that shit. That's harmed us beyond belief. What I mean is there are kids that learn differently. And that's it. End stop. There's no shaming. In fact, we should be ashamed of ourselves because we have not mined the gold of many of those children. We are lazy and we keep using systems that are decrepit, old, and toxic learning systems. And we know it. We know it. So the reason why Roe versus Wade was overturned, they want more workers. Apparently, there's such a decline in birth that they need more workers, and they know it. 2 senators came out, idiot senators, who came out not realizing what they were saying. Literally said it. It's on film if you want to look for it. So the bubble. Oh, by the way, On the side note, tone. Tone of voice is everything. Don't mistake my passions and my righteous anger with toxic anger. This is a voice that speaks of passion, urgency, because we better get it going. And it is righteously disgusted by people who have PhDs and masters who've gone to some of the best Ivy League universities on the fucking planet. And here we are with that kind of leadership. What does that tell you, my friends? It's not education that gives you wisdom. It's not education that gives you generosity of heart and fairness and justice. It's not education that makes you a good leader. It's a philosophy of kindness that many of them lack, quite frankly. And they have tried to bully us and muzzle us. And they have. They've destroyed people's companies, their businesses. They have, in fact, I had a situation yesterday where someone tried to direct me. Okay? And this was a woman. And when women go against other women, we have a massive problem. So the bliss bubble, let's go back to that. Just realize that you've done your work. If you want to keep reposting, keep reposting. Me, I'm decided to stop reposting because you know what? As Basan said, she's just sitting there going, day 387 of genocide, I'm still alive. This reality, the best thing we can do aside from joining forces and becoming Sarah Connors, the actually better than that is for us to use our innate multi-dimensional light to literally use our incredible powers, which the 1% is highly aware of, to create an egregore that's going to push this fucker off the cliff so that you and I can finally stand and sigh with great relief that finally we made it to the new earth. And everyone will be, many, many, many souls will be catapulted into that new reality. It's our only way. Because I know that many of you are going through massive depression, a feeling of massive loss, a feeling of absolute helplessness, and that's not going to help you now. In fact, it's actually the opposite energy that we need to create this egregore of a powerful new reality. This despair and helplessness is not your ally. This fear that is entangling you into a hamster wheel of being trapped or feeling trapped and not feeling like you're getting anywhere is not going to help you. So you need to it's almost like a veneer. It's almost like a membrane that you have to punch through, get out and birth yourself. You need to birth yourself into 5D, into the new earth. That's the only way. And to be honest, this darkness that unfortunately we needed to see this. And then we needed to connect the dots and go, oh yeah, this isn't new. Look at the Armenian genocide. Okay? The Armenians went through fucking massive. Just look it up. There's documentaries on it. It was bad. It was brutal. Many, many peoples across the planet for many, many centuries have gone through this kind of thing. The only difference is the technology is cowardly and actually cruel. More cruel than anything we could imagine. But the end result is the end result. Annihilation of a people. Annihilation of children. Annihilation of women. Results. We've nothing to do with it. They just wanted to, make mint tea and make lemonade and sell their wares and weave cloth. And that's all. And have babies and watch them running in the field in the spring. That's all they wanted. A happy, simple, peaceful life. It's what we want. It's what we want for everyone. And so that's all. That's what you need to do. Sit in your meditation. Don't think that what you're doing is empty. That's probably, I did it live yesterday, and I'm really begging you now to realize how powerful you are, because if you were not so powerful, the 1% would have never created the egregores to teach us to be afraid, to feel like we were worthless, to feel like we were helpless and there was nothing we can do. They've used our heroes throughout centuries and shown, see, cross, rebels ends up on a cross. Anyone who rebels ends up, done, annihilated. from the movie, the actual movie with Kirk Douglas, Spartacus, and I bring up movies again and again from Braveheart, they always lose because this is something that they've created. And are these true stories? Well, yes, no kidding. But what I'm saying to you is that this time of losing, where the meek, where the underdog timeline to you is that this time of losing, where the meek, where the underdog loses, is no longer part of this timeline. It is Satya Yuga. And Kali Yuga is what you saw, heroes perishing by the hands of the 1%. I was listening to the letter of Pontius Pilate to Seneca yet last night. And it broke my heart. Because even Pontius Pilate knew that this was wrong. And I mean, beyond, we all know that what he thought he did to Yeshua was wrong. But what I mean is, when you read the letter, when you listen to the letter, it breaks your heart because you realize this man did everything. And yet there was still this incredible cruelty and evil to destroy a holy man. However you see Yeshua, a holy man, an avatar, the son of God, however you see, we're all the son and daughters of God. And I don't mean that to kiss your ass. I mean that quite literally. So what I want you to do is just now it's time. Because I know how this has harmed you. I know how this is breaking your soul. And that's the last thing any of the light beings I spoke to yesterday want for you. They just needed you to see it for what it was. They needed you to know that this has been going on for hundreds of years. And that now we need to claim the new earth. And that's it. And that's that. Okay? You can't do shit with your tears now. You can't do shit with that despair. And you can't do shit with your energy of feeling worthless and powerless. The word powerless is a lie. The sentence, it's out of my hands, is a lie. It's completely in your hands. Completely in your hands as you place a mudra together. A mudra of supplication to harness the energy. Asking you shall receive, so that you receive the energies through the bolts of colors, igniting your chakras. So that you can actually now co-create the new earth. I swear to you, this is no woohoo, haha. I've been for weeks telling you and weaving in movies and weaving in stories of women and men healing from cancers. I've been weaving stories of people having to drop their bodies because they cannot cross the 5D in the 3D bodies that are so entrenched in dogma that they knew that many of souls that are dropping their bodies right now knew their souls, no, I can't do this in this body. It has been too entrenched. It's like a sponge that's so soaked into dogma 3D. I can't do it in this body. So I'm going to drop my body. I'm going to slip out of their body like a wetsuit, soaked into dogma 3D. I can't do it in this body. So I'm going to drop my body. I'm going to slip out of their body like a wetsuit, peeling off this wetsuit off me so I can birth a new self. So I can actually self-realize on a deeper, more authentic self. That's going to be what you have to do. If, in other words, that's what many are going to have to do. That's what you're going to have to do if you don't let yourself go now. Meaning, if you choose to stay here, which many of you are, then you need to do this incredible replenishing of your soul. You're going to have to forgive yourself. That's why I told you to do a list of all the things you regret. I did my list. And I worked on something that was really hard on me, very, very hard in meditation. So when you get up at 3, 4, 5 o'clock in the morning, you can't sleep, sit in a meditation to try and communicate to you. Just go sit right up in your bed, put a blanket around you if you can, and sit in meditation, put your hands in a mudra. I have a whole list of mudras. You can look it up on my profile. All kinds of mudras for different things. Because some of the people that can't do what I've just described will drop their bodies. It'll be the only way. They'll have all the good intentions, but they'll need a major purification, and it can't be done in this body. But many of you listening to me, I know you can do this. I know you can do this in your body. I know you can totally overcome the weird, cell renewal that many people can't, and that's why they're dropping their bodies. There are many of you that can do a shift and igniting the, what is it called? The dead, what is it called? The junk DNA. That's why many of you have experienced ascension symptoms Ascension symptoms is when you have headaches. I remember one of my ascension symptoms was that my third eye was being opened so violently. I think it was, hang on, how old was my son? It was in 2008, actually. And in 2008, I had a headache so bad. It was right in between my eyebrows, all the way to the back of my head. And I knew what was happening as it was happening. I was not ignorant of it, but I could not even see. And for 3 days, I was in bed, and my son kept kissing my third eye. He also knew what was going on. And he kept kissing it, mommy's third eye, mommy's third eye. I'll never forget. And I was being activated. And sometimes that does happen. You are being activated. And so ascension symptoms can be you love coffee, you live on coffee, and suddenly you don't want coffee anymore. Like it makes you want to vomit. And all kinds of things are going to be happening. Receive it with incredible love and gratitude. Say, thank you for activating me. Thank you for upgrading my light codes. Thank you, thank you. And call on them, the light being of and gratitude. Say, thank you for activating me. Thank you for upgrading my light codes. Thank you, thank you. And call on them, the light beings, your particular guide, the Galactic Council, God, the Creator, the All, any of the avatars, Mary Magdalene, Yeshua, Buddha and his consort, and the Bodhisattvas, Krishna, Radha, Hanuman, Ganesh, Lakshmi. In other words, I don't care, but call on them. I can't see, but I'm sent. And say, look, please upgrade me. I'm ready. Please make me see. Please make me see things that right now I can't see, but I'm so ready for this upgrade. So please download new light codes of the ascension. Protect yourself with the Merkaba of Metatron, or the light of the blue light of Angel Michael, or all of the above. A blue light of a Merkaba that surrounds you as you walk. For example, do whatever is brought to you. Trust the images that are brought to you. Trust how they think would be best for you to be protected. I used to also call on the three-pointed light, violet flame of the Chohans. And I did that for years. I did it all my 20s and all my 30s. So do what you are directed to do. Trust what they're giving you, okay? You are so powerful and so beautiful that you need to really, really stand up and start. It's like fighting off a demonic entity. Stay strong, stand your ground, breathe, and say, fuck off. Thank you, and protect your happiness by being more happy. Exactly. There's nothing you can do. Do you understand? Encourage more view. Oh, sorry. Yes. Thank you, Force Therapeutics. So we've seen the fucking horror show, right? Okay. We have also been shown that we in 3D, we are powerless. Don't get me wrong. If we stay in a 3D consciousness, you're correct. You're powerless. But when you go into your 4D, 5D, 6D consciousness, you are fucking a badass and no one can stop you. That's why these hurricanes were an exercise of power of how we create egregores within hours. To overcome a said reality in 3D, transmuting it in 5, 6D and going, oh, really? Fuck off. It's going from 5 to 3 or 2. I think it went to 2. I repeat myself again and again because I want to remind you of what we've done recently, just recently, around the corner. So now, okay, protect your peace, because you can't save a child that's about to lose its life right now. As I speak, there's a child who's just taken its last breath. It doesn't make you a woman that's been shot in the belly right now as we speak. So we're not stupid. We know what's going on. It doesn't make you ignorant and kumbaya stupid, like lobotomized New Ager. It doesn't, because you and I know what we are. We are ancient wisdom keepers. This is what we are. There's nothing New Age about this shit. This shit goes back before this planet had a soul. And currently, this planet has a soul. Her name is Pachamama, Bhumi, Gaia, Mother Earth. And she is weeping. And she has wept for hundreds of years. But now we see her. We know her. We love her. We are her keepers. We are her guardians. We are her gardeners. And we adore her. And in 5D, 6D, all of the ills and injustices that have been pushed against her will be made right by you, by me, by our children and grandchildren and so forth. That's what we're working for. We're not fighting for this. We're working for this. We're co-creating this. We're making it happen. And it was written. And I keep reminding you, the meek shall inherit the earth. The word meek is troubling, isn't it? Meek. But what does it mean? And I've said this before, but hear me out. Meek is a word that was used purposely to, again, lobotomize our passions as lions. We are the lions. It means we are the abundant keepers. We are the wise ones. We are the ones who want abundance for everyone. And what is abundance? Love, health, and wealth. Plenty for everyone. And it's not utopian because it was a time where many of that realities were, co-living on this planet. No, it is after Atlantis. I saw it. When Atlantis fell, people get this idea we plummeted into 3D. But no, in my meditations for Akashic readings for clients, I saw that in Tibet, it was still in 560. In many parts of Asia, Africa, Europe, the Celtic Isle. In many parts of Asia, Africa, Europe, the Celtic Isle, and so on. In the Americas, there were pockets, portals, ley lines that still kept 560 in motion until there was a final plummeting of the final fall into 3D. But I saw it. And I know for a fact that we know what that feels like because we've lived those realities before on this planet. And in other planets where all is taken care of. Okay? You know what makes us magnificent as human beings? Because I've had so many hypnotherapies and Akashic readings. You know what it is? It's the fact that in all these other planets, one of the themes, it's so weird, is this thing of homogeneous. In other words, everyone looks the same, basically. They might have a slit for a mouth and no genitalia, and they don't eat and they don't enjoy sexuality, sensuality. They are individuals with one consciousness. The very thing that was gifted to us, sensuality, diversity, oh my God, pleasure, desire, creativity, was used against us by nefarious beings so that we, as beautiful in their own man, or an Asian woman, or a white man, or a red man, as beautiful in their own right, we were taught to actually distrust someone who doesn't look like us instead of saying, isn't that beautiful? No different than a flower. Is a rose better than a tulip? Is a tulip better than a sunflower? No, they're beautiful. And this is something we are being asked to go back to, this incredible awe of our diversity, the diversity of this planet. When I look at other planets, through hypnotherapy or Akashic readings, I'm like, beautiful planets, some of them, really. Some of them are arid. Some of them are, it's all like forest, but there's no beach. Or it'll be all tropical, but there's no forest. We have it all. Literally, we have it all. And we've squandered it. Not entirely of our own fault, but because we were trained through these last 2,000 years have been hard on us. You think the last 4 have been hard on us? The last 2,000 years of incarnations have been incredibly brutal. Mostly because of religious edicts and trying to force people to believe in only their God when there's only one God. The one of 1,000 names, the one who created us all. So now you need to step into your beautiful bubble of bliss, and your job is to create the new earth. That's it. That's your mission. There's nothing you can do. Not because nothing you can do. Let me clean that up. Nothing you can do in 3D. In your mind, in your heart chakra, all you can do in 3D. But you have all the power in your hands, in your mind, in your heart chakra, and all your chakras. You have all of that magic in 5D. And so that's what you need to do. So the micro levels of co-creation could be, you're in your car. And imagine you're in your car and maybe it's a levitating vehicle. You're levitating, it's 5D. Oh my God, it's so exciting. I love it. Oh my God, it's so beautiful. If you see chemtrails, ignore them and see beautiful sunrise instead. Play little mind games with yourself to always, when you open the door, imagine you're stepping into your oh my God, I'm so grateful. It's the new earth. I'm so grateful. We're here. I'm so grateful. Just keep doing that. And then when you go into your real meditation, when you're really sitting down and in a cross-legged or sitting down position, go ahead and intensely focus that image or those kinds of images. But you can actually pepper and seed throughout the day when you're doing your laundry, when you're hanging your laundry. Let's say you're lucky to put your laundry in the lines, when you're folding your clothes, when you're vacuuming the floor. Imagine that you don't need to vacuum your floor anymore, for example. And play little mind games. Be a child right now. I need you to go back to imagining the magic. That's going to be the most important thing. Because nothing moving forward is going to change in 3D until we change it in 5D. And that, my friend, is why the 1% has used the egregores of fear for at least 2,000 years. And unfortunately, every incarnation we took, there's some scars of that decisions have been scars of that. Some scars means, it's a Sanskrit word, it means impressions, have been dragged from one incarnation into the next incarnation to create the dogma of fear that we've held on to, clung to not make bold moves throughout these incarnations. So when you step into that 560 consciousness of just simply going to your meditation, nothing can harm you, nothing can destroy you, nothing can touch you. And discern, you may actually be slammed with some corrupted downloads from nefarious beings, which is real, it's a real thing. And discern that. Any questions or comments? Ask, or else they wouldn't be coming to fuck with you. Believe me, that's a good sign. And yes, like Jennifer said, and tell them to fuck off. Any questions or comments? Mine is 11 ones. Always look out for the good stuff and be grateful. This is supposed to be a fun place. Mine is a major migraines and explosive anger. I feel like a kernel of corn about to pop. I understand that explosive anger, and there's nothing wrong with anger. But what you want to do, transmute, because believe me, I have righteous anger, which is Archangel Michael's anger. You know, when it's also like Yeshua when he came and kicked the merchants' tables. That's righteous anger. Make sure it's not toxic anger. In terms of exploding like that's a transformation. That's a transmutation and transformation. Some shit that you're probably holding on to is about to pop. You may want to, and I'm being real, I don't know where you're at with what you want to do, but you may want to blow it out. Make sure that if there's anger, because anger did my treadmill work, and I'm lifting weights, and for me personally, I'm going to be getting a boxing bag to box that fucking, to make sure that if there's anger, because anger has its purpose. Anger propels you to make action. Anger propels you. If it's toxic, it will untangle you around your ankles, and anyone can pull the string and boom, you're falling on your face. So toxic anger is dangerous, and there's nothing good about it. But what you want to do is transmute your anger where there is until you become more like a Shaolin master, where you've neutralized your energies to a calm place, so that nothing can activate you to the wrong moves. So the first point is taking toxic anger, transmuting it to righteous anger, from righteous anger into a transmutation, like what I would say a Shaolin master. Because here's the thing. You do not want to ever be owned by anyone. You don't want anyone to take your emotions and play with them like nothing. You know what I mean? You don't want to ever let anyone own you like that. Whether you're face to face with them, or it's something you're watching on your tablet, your phone, or maybe you have a TV set and you're like losing your shit. Don't do that. So what you do is learn how to manage your anger, which is good. Your anger, there's a book by Thich Nhat Hanh called Anger, okay? Have a lot of compassion for your anger, because what you have to do is learn how to manage your anger, which is good. It's good, okay? So don't be ashamed of that. You're going through a massive transformation. It's all good, okay? Be grateful for it. Say, thank you for my anger. Thank you. I get it. Now I'm going to teach you how to manage it. I put Post-it notes around when I come across them, pause for a minute and visualize the new earth. Oh my God, what a beautiful soul. I agree wholeheartedly. Okay. So, yeah, it's going to be, that's it. We're moving into our power. Okay. That's it. We're done. We've done everything we can do in 3D. Clearly, We were supposed to learn that it doesn't work in 3D. We can't be in 3D. You know how they say fight fire for fire? No. No, you don't fight fire with fire. You fight fire with air. Wonderful thing in the world. I remember water is incredible. It can erode a rock. Water is the most powerful thing in the world. I remember Bruce Lee saying, be like water. And there's a wonderful little interview where he'll out. Water is friend. Fire eventually will blow itself out. Water is, it's incredible. It can't be controlled. It cannot be, there's nothing you can do. If it wants to take over your house, it will take over your house. If it wants to nourish you, it will nourish you. If it wants to move and take over a mountain, it will. If it wants to melt, it will. There's nothing we can do with water. It's more powerful than anything. So air and water. And air and water is very, very powerful, as you can tell with hurricanes and tornadoes. And am I lying? I don't think so. Tsunamis, am I lying? Fire? Yeah, fire is powerful. Even volcanoes get stopped by the ocean. So be like water, my friend. Transmute that energy. In fact, do mantras when you're about to drink your water. You are 75% water. Talk to your body. You know, it's weird. I think that what happened with all of the genocide going on is going on in 3 different countries, especially, so the main 2 countries right now, unfortunately, are, as you know, Palestine and Sudan. And it's really, really hit us hard. But as long as we know that we actually are not full of shit and we can do this and manifest the new earth individually. And it might be that I did a Satya Yuga with Andromeda Flame. You may want to check it out on my YouTube channel. But we may want to do another guided meditation. And believe me, I'll advertise it and with Andromeda Flame, and to bring us to that bubble of bliss, because we need it. That the despair and this whole it's out of my hands, this whole powerlessness. Yeah, that's not going to work. It's not working, my friends. We tried, and look, we're still dealing with the same shit show. Who wins in the election will not matter. It doesn't matter. And this is something I self-realized. Why? Because the New Earth has nothing to do with that kind of 3D bullshit. As long as you're aware of that, you're good to go. Okay? The consciousness of people who don't understand that this is wrong. Bill Clinton just did a speech going, well, you know, there's a reason for this. It's like, dude, fucking sit down. Are you still on the payroll, really? It's like, you know, there are a lot of... The word leadership is really to be used very lightly. Most of the leaders right now, to be honest, and I'm not going to even call them leaders. I'm going to call them guides, mentors, are on the other sides of the veils for us. Okay? They're guiding us. Okay? They're guiding people like Dr. Joe Dispenza, Freddie Silva, Regina Meredith, you, me. You know what I'm saying? These light beings are the leaders. They're the leaders on the other side of the veils. Okay, that's our mentors. Those are the guides. So you need to go into meditation so you can hear them speak to you wisdoms. Okay, so you don't lose your heart. So you don't have to drop your body. Because some people, I can tell you, like my twin had to drop his body. He couldn't do this shit anymore. He'd done it since 1947. He saw the debacle. He was a hippie, demonstrating against the Vietnam War, blah, blah, blah. You know, you heard the story. And never quit being a hippie, okay? And it broke his heart. It literally broke his heart. So some people can't fucking do this. It broke my mother's heart. It broke my son's father's heart. It does. I know people are literally passing away from broken hearts because of this shit. So don't be that. I want you to be stronger than this. I know you can be stronger than this. No shame on those who had to drop their bodies to go to the other side and get the final healing, the final purging, the final transmutation. But please have hope, okay? And fuck hope. Actually, no, that's not the word. Sorry, let me redirect. It's the unspoken. First, let me apologize for the abrupt stop, but my TikTok live has been cut off at that point, and this is my 3rd TikTok video that has been stopped. Let me continue. Your heart frequency has the power of a nuclear bomb. It has the power to co-create. Instead of destroying, it has the power to co-create. And that truth, that reality of your intention as a multi-dimensional light being to be as powerful as a nuclear bomb, magnified by 1,000, is a reality that we have been ignorant of due to the amnesia of 3D reincarnation. That the 1% and the reptilians controlling the 1% to subjugate our light. And now it's time for you to claim all of that power. It's time for you to understand that all of this monkey mind bullshit is never been yours. It's not who you are. It will never be who you are until you accept the truth of your multi-dimensional light being frequency that has gone through this devolution or de-evolution for activations to create an incredibly powerful revolution of evolution to such a magnitude of transformation that this explosive light will literally eradicate throughout the universes the Satya Yuga Golden Age for everyone, every sentient being, sentient beings and souls you will never meet, planets you will never incarnate to, so that the reality of the genocides that's been going on with many planets from the reptilians attacking peaceful sentient beings, humanoids and other types of species, that shit ends. The very diversity of us was supposed to be our strength, because in each humanoid race we had an activation of certain gifts that the other races didn't have. And you must know that, because there are certain DNA frequencies of, say, a particular family lineage that would give you more power with third eye psychic energy awakenings than, say, another, right, family lineage that had other gifts or skill sets inherently in that particular lineage. And so you are exactly what you think you are, and you live a reality of exactly what you allow your 3D eyes to see. And that's why you need to now see the planet. And you may call it rose-colored glasses, and I will say no, 5D, 6D glasses. In fact, you won't need glasses, because it'll be your reality in every sense of the word. And that's what we have to now do. I can't keep reposting anymore. And like I said, you can keep reposting, but I won't. Because now I have to save people I will never meet, I need to co-create this new earth. To give my son a chance to have a beautiful life, I have to co-create the new earth. To give many of you and this entire planet and other planets that rely on our success, we will have to turn our backs to 3D reality and really lean into and trust with this unspoken knowing, this knowing above all 3D logic, stepping over 3D logic. In fact, completely rejecting 3D logic, 3D reality. And in order to catapult the entire universe into 5D, 6D consciousness in a permanent frequency with no loss, with no regression ever to harm us again. Sending you much love on your journey. Namaste.